You okay?
I'm fine. That's some good shooting.
We've got to get out of here. A rescue chopper's on its way. Come with me.
Billy Coen and Carlos Oliveira were great main supporting characters in the game they each appeared in, and they survived to the very end. Yet, they never made an appearance afterwards. Billy appeared in Resident Evil 0 and the Umbrella Chronicles. However, the Umbrella Chronicles was just a retelling of certain events, and one of those happened to be the events of Resident Evil 0. The same thing happened with Carlos. He appeared in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, then in Operation Raccoon City, which was a what-if scenario type of game reliving the events of Resident Evil 3. Then again in the Umbrella Chronicles, which once again retold the events of Resident Evil 3. And now he's actually back. Only it's because Resident Evil 3 has been remade. Oh, and of course we're not counting the movies, or his guest appearance in the game known as Under the Skin. Both characters have technically only appeared once in the storyline, so what are the possibilities that could have occurred to these two characters if they weren't mentioned later on? Well, let's take a look at Billy's final moments in Resident Evil 0.
Hey, that must be the old mansion that Enrico was talking about. I guess it's time to say goodbye. Officially, Lieutenant Billy Coen is dead.
Yeah, I'm just a zombie now. Thank you, Rebecca.
Without a career or a home to get to, Billy had to stay hidden and run from the law for the rest of his life, even when he was completely innocent from the massacre he was accused of. If you ask me, he could stay hidden for a long time, up until he realizes how broken and miserable his life would end up being. And if Capcom can give him his own spin-off game, the story can be about Billy searching for the soldier that ordered him to eliminate innocent villagers, and get revenge for all the lives he's ruined. We don't know anything about that particular soldier, so it'd be interesting if there's a bigger picture as to why he ordered his men to wipe out the villagers, rather than simply not wanting to go home empty-handed. Perhaps he wanted to bring in extra bodies as experimental test subjects for Umbrella, or maybe he doesn't even need to be affiliated with Umbrella. He could simply be one of the soldiers that gets sent to Raccoon City to contain the outbreak, and this gives Billy a chance to search for that particular soldier in the middle of the outbreak. This would allow us to visit other locations in Raccoon City to further explore that iconic doomed city. So Billy has the opportunity to appear in a spin-off game that can take place in Raccoon City or the Arklay Forest, since he appeared in Resident Evil 0. But as for Carlos, he appeared in Resident Evil 3, and everything else that appeared after Resident Evil 3 was very unrealistic and Matrix-like. Maybe not counting RE7, so it's hard to come up with a legitimate theory for Carlos. He did end up hating Umbrella for what they did, and one could say that he should just join the BSAA along with Jill. but his hatred was towards Umbrella, and Umbrella fell after the events of RE3. He didn't have his own epilogue either, so maybe if he does join the BSAA, he can deal with a mission that takes place before Umbrella fell, or he could just take a vacation and stop risking his life for another battle against biologically mutated creatures. So aside from the possibilities of what could have happened to both characters, personally, I think that Capcom has been more concentrated on 4 main characters of the series, which are Leon, Chris, Jill, and Wesker. So if you're thinking that there's a bigger picture as to why Billy and Carlos haven't been featured in any games besides a remake of the game they're in, it's gotta be because Capcom has other plans, and those plans revolve around the 4 main characters I mentioned. But now that Resident Evil 3 has been remade, Carlos will get the spotlight once again, and chances are that after seeing how fans love playing as this character, Capcom might just give us a future spin-off game based on Carlos later on. And this time it won't be another retelling of RE3 as before. There's a lot of potential when it comes to making a spin-off featuring side characters of the series. Capcom has tried this for Barry Burton in 2 games, Revelations 2, and one of my personal favorite RE games, Resident Evil Gaiden. So Barry is the only main supporting character who's gotten his own spin-off games so far, and fans have been asking for the same treatment for the rest of the supporting main characters like Carlos Oliveira, Billy Coen, Ada Wong, Fong Ling, or some of the most memorable characters in the comics like Patrick Brady, Falcon, Rosa Cardenas, or Dexter Whitlam. Speaking of these characters, luckily we at least have comic book illustrators willing to make short side stories based on these side characters to further explore their journeys, whether it's before or after the events of the games. Now, we may never know the whereabouts of both Carlos and Billy in the official canon. However, in the manhwa of Resident Evil 0, they actually gave Billy a different ending that explains why you never see him after 0. It's not exactly the best outcome for him, and again, it's not canon, and I wouldn't even say it's my explanation for why he went missing. So, to best summarize it, in the manhwa, they included a new tortured creature with wings, and this creature was kept in the coffin that is seen in the remake of Resident Evil 1. In the game, the coffin contains a Crimson Head zombie, but not in the manhwa. So this creature awakens and leaves the coffin to attack the main characters, and at one point, Billy injects himself with a virus that gives him super strength. The illustrators made him look like a Super Saiyan straight out of Dragon Ball Z. The creature, by the way, was known as the Zombie King, and after it was defeated, Billy absorbed its power and became the new Zombie King himself. Rebecca was unconscious when this happened, and Billy then proceeds to take her to a secure room in the Umbrella Castle, as apparently in this version, it's an Umbrella Castle instead of the Umbrella Executive Training School. So he drops her off. The Alpha Team helicopter arrives near their location. Rebecca wakes up, she sees the helicopter and contacts them with her radio. She prepares to meet them, and as for Billy, he apparently decides to replace the tortured creature by entering its coffin and sleep until someone makes their way to the cave and decides to awaken him. Problem is, they never did work on a Resident Evil 1 manhwa, so Billy just became this new creature who would forever stay dormant as the story ended, and that was it for him. But what do you think happened to both Billy Coen and Carlos Oliveira? Let me know in the comments, because as of now, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.